So let's give a warm welcome for Miss Shawn Williams.
Good afternoon. So everybody just had lunch. So now I get to try to entertain you all after lunch. So thank you for welcoming me and our agency to this 55th anniversary of Fair Housing. I don't know what year that Human Relations has been hosting, but thank you, Dr. Duckett, and all of the team for having us once again this year to talk about housing and housing opportunities. So when I spoke with Dr. Duckett, what I wanted to tell her is that what we do is a partnership, depending on the section or business unit of our organization, but we have several business units. Our two largest business units are our Housing Choice Voucher Program and our asset management part and our development and management section, where we actually do development as well as manage the communities that we own and operate. So who are we? I'll let you guys push that. Can't see, forgot my glasses, so bear with me. The Greenville Housing Authority was created in 1938. Oh, I have it? Give it to my lovely was created in 1938 to develop and manage decent, safe, and affordable housing, as well as to administer the Housing Choice Voucher, formerly known as Section 8 program, to families who are at least 30% of their area median income. Our primary funding source comes from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and our next funding source is our rent collection in our communities. What do? We develop properties. These are a couple of our properties, Arcadia Hill and Valley Creek, as well as senior communities. The latest is our preserve at Logan Park. We serve residents who are elderly, disabled, families, and veterans. We manage our properties that we own and are proud to do so, have a wonderful property management team and maintenance team that works very hard to ensure that our communities are decent and safe and stay that way where anyone would be proud to live. So we also engage in families' lives every day, which is a real important part of what our property managers, the assistant property managers, the leasing specialists, what our maintenance departments do to make sure that everyone has a decent, safe place to live. That's really important to us, and that they feel safe about the communities where they live, and ensuring that we meet fair housing laws, that we meet reasonable accommodations, limited English proficiency, all of those acronyms that HUD makes us utilize every day. It is important. The first and foremost and primary thing is that we have a good relationship with our residents. So today, I really wanted to bring two very important partners that work with us, that we engage with daily. And one of them happens, and we're proud to have, is our commissioner, our resident commissioner, Katina Abercrombie. She currently resides in our harbor community. She's been there for quite some time. So I want to ask her to come up and speak about her engagement with the community and what it's like to be a resident in one of our communities. Commissioner Abercrombie.
Good afternoon, y'all. Thank y'all for the claps. But anyway, I am a resident of the harbor at West Greenville. I've been a resident there about 13 years before they even just switched all over and renovated or whatever. So being there has been a plus, and it's done changed so much since we come back. We renovated, went somewhere and come back. But being there is a plus. I got there for prayer. That's my home. That's where I have to be. And I love being there. And I love the resident. I communicate with everybody out there. Matter of fact, I can't even step out the door unless somebody pulling my shirt tail or something to talk to them. But anyway, So I'm there to make sure the residents getting everything they need, for as, the apartment is up to par or whatever, and they shouldn't have to repeat, putting the work order in or whatever. So I'm there for the residents, but I also love my property managers too. Of course, Sean, Rachel, we help each other. They stay in communicating with us. So that way they go through and they help. She have done Sean has done some wonderful things that, for the community, she done wonderful stuff. So a lot of stuff was hard to do, but now, she was walking, now she's running, and she's running fast, but she had so much to, sort out. And so, being a commissioner and, the president of the resident advisory board, I went to what's that? The meeting in Florida, huh? Yeah, in Florida, when we went to we flew the conference. And that made me understand every landlord and what they're going through. It really made me understand that everybody always talk or kick against the housing authority, but they have to go by rules like everybody else. They have a boss to tell them what to do. And when I went to that conference, I seen so much and heard so much, I couldn't retrieve it. I had a forehead this big when I come there from there. But I was like, wow, I did not know that landlords or CEOs had to go through what they go through. And so now I understand why they do the things they do, because they have bosses too. They can't just pop and do anything. But when the resident makes complaints and stuff, they come to me and I tell them to go to the office or write an email, because that's proof that you had went in and said anything to them. So you write an email first, and that's your paper trail. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I tell them. I tell them to do an email and give them time, because things happen, unless it's a real emergency, but give them time, because they will be to fix your whatever you need, And so now, since I went to the conference in Florida, when I step out, I tells them the reason why things happen. You can't just do stuff like that. You can't do it at all. You can't do stuff like that. And I can understand every landlord or whatever. And I talked to a lot of them in the housing authority. And everybody's so nice. Sean is wonderful. Oh my goodness, she's something. She's something. She's something. She communicates with me, no matter, I could call her anytime or whatever, and she understands everything amongst all the other stuff she got going on. Because when they come in on the property that we had, they did the gallery and harbor. It was a bunch of stuff, and it's still a bunch of stuff, but they don't clear it out a bunch of stuff. So it's getting there, and it takes time. And I just want to say, y'all landlords, thank y'all. Now y'all work hard. Y'all work hard. And I know you get frustrated, but you still do it. You do it because y'all still here. I see a lot of them that was here last year. So thank y'all for being kind. Just be good to your resident. I tell them to be good to y'all. It's the way you talk to people. You comes up and you got a problem. Don't go up there fussing, cussing, or whatever. You get nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And the landlord should be real good to they residents too. And they don't need no attitude, because once you strike up an attitude, it's gonna strike up some from the people. And some people, y'all know it's the thousands and thousands of people under the housing authority. And y'all know for yourself, some of them really don't know how to talk to nobody. But if you just keep your calm with everybody come in there, no matter what's wrong with you, where you come wake up with a bad day, you gotta come in now to be polite with the resident, because you know it's gonna be something all the time. You know, all the time, it's never ending. So that's what I got to say, and like I said, I love y'all, and I know some of y'all, but I'm gonna be honest with you, the best CEO that I had ever met, and she tries so hard, so y'all bear with her, because she is a little chihuahua. Bear with her. Bear with her, but she gets it done. So, thank y'all.
I will be paying the commissioner tomorrow when we get paid. But I also know that I really, again, have to acknowledge the TGHA team, our property managers, our maintenance department, our finance department, HR, admin, our housing choice voucher team, because I cannot do this by myself. It does take a team that is compassionate, that cares. So thanks to all of you all. So speaking of housing choice voucher, that's the next program that I want to talk about. As all of you are aware that we administer that, we have over 3,000 vouchers that we administer. We have families who live in the city and county of Greenville. We negotiate rents with landlords on behalf of our participants. We can make sure housing quality standards inspections are conducted. We determine eligibility. We determine continued eligibility. And we try to, again, really be that liaison between us and the landlord. We want to ensure that they are complying with fair housing as well, because we know that that's important. And more important, it's the law. So what I also wanted to do was to bring a perspective from one of our best landlords who is on the program, Mr. Gordon Simmons, to come up and speak about the Housing Choice Voucher Program from his perspective and what he looks at when he is looking for a participant who has a voucher. And when he calls me at 6 in the morning and we're talking on the phone. Mr. Simmons.
Good afternoon. I thought everybody get up at 5, so you had time to be ready. As Sean said, I'm Gordon Simmons, and the name of my company is Grow Investors LLC, and the GROW stands for God Rewards Our Works. And we truly are a Christian-based company, and I've had numerous times to tell tenants that, hey, if you curse, conversation's over. Okay, so I don't go down that path. But thank you for the opportunity to speak before you today. What I'd like to do is I've got a list of things that if everything's in place, there is no problem getting a tenant in any of our properties. And all my properties, and Sean's been there, Rochelle's been there, David's been there. If I had to live in one of them, no problem. I wouldn't have a problem. And my dad always taught me, if you're going to rent something that you would live in yourself. Okay. So that's how Grow Investors looks at things. And I call this the list of things to do to make the process go smooth or painless. And the first thing is the application process. The application process is in there for a reason. It tells me what I need to know about you. This is like you applying for a job. You want to sell yourself to that employee, sell yourself to me. That information on that application is very important. I got one recently, didn't have any information on it. I called her, I thought you needed to rent the house. Yes, I do, but I want to make sure someone's going in the property that's going to take care of it also. Okay, so that application process is there for a reason. Let's talk for a minute. How many tenants are in here now? Potential tenants or tenants? Is everybody? Okay. The ones that raise their hand, do you have a problem filling out an application, or is it a challenge? No? Okay. All right, just wanted to ask. References. When you put down references, who do you put down as references? You put down family members? Okay, thank you. Because if you're staying with your mama or your brother, your sister, they want to get you out of there. They're going to say the best things in the world to get us to rent to you. The kind of people I'm looking for is like clergy, a supervisor, somebody at HR. Those are the kind of people I want to see as a reference. So putting down your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, auntie, big mama, I mean, they want to get you out of that property. So they're going to give you kudos, thumbs up. Okay, so just a little FYI, make sure your referencers are going to vouch for you, but make sure they're credible too also. Background checks. I run background checks. I've got one recently. The young lady had 8 traffic violations in 3 years. She also had 2 evictions. One of them was back in 2004, but 8 traffic violations in 1 year, in 5 years tells me if you can't comply with Greenville County laws, how are you going to comply with my laws as a landlord? Because I come in every month. I do pest control, change the furnace filters, and pour Clorox in the kitchen sink, bathroom sinks, and everywhere. That also gets me in the property. I'm gonna be honest with you, because if I come in there and I see a stain on the carpet, excuse me, can you tell me how that got there? And I'm gonna send over the carpet cleaner, because when you moved in, it wasn't there. And when they do their annual inspection, they're gonna come back at me and want me to replace the carpet. So it's addressed right then and there. So, and I look for blinds, if blinds were in there, and I have a checklist. It's CWL, ceiling, walls, and floors. And when you move in one of my properties, we go through each room looking at the ceiling, walls, and floors, noting any defects and flaws. You sign off on it and I sign off on it. Okay, so that covers me. And then if you ever decide to leave, then we go back through that form again and we can look and see how the conditions of the ceiling, walls, and floors were in each room. Okay, but the background check is very important. As I said, I do monthly service. That's to get me in the property, but that's also to help make sure the property keeps clean. And I'll tell you one thing I did. I put 12 filters in a closet and I asked Sean to please change the filter the first of the month. I get a call during the summer, the air conditioning's frozen, it won't work. It's not cool in the house. I go in there, open the vent, the filter looks like it hadn't been changed in a year. I go to the box and count the box and it still has what, 11 left in it. So I change them myself. Okay, that's part of your monthly service. You have to allow me in the property between the 1st and the 10th. I usually give you a 3-day notice. Hey, can I come Saturday between 12 and 2 to change your filters and do your monthly service? Okay, all my properties come with yard care because I don't want someone that's living next door to one of my properties call me and say, hey, the grass is knee high. I got snakes and rats and everything coming over there. I had a bad experience. I gave the young man a lawnmower. He hit something in the driveway. Mr. Gordon, your lawnmower's not cranking up. You hit something, broke the Carter pin. So I just said, okay, I just pay somebody and that yard care is included in their rent. Okay. Move in, move out checklist. Like I said, that move in, move out checklist, that's my security blanket, but that's also your security blanket. Because if there's any discrepancies, we both can look at it. You signed off on it when you moved in. It said blinds were in every room. It said smoke detectors were working in every room. So that's my evidence and your evidence if it wasn't there. That's your time to make a note saying the blinds are missing in the bedroom or whatever. Okay. Security deposit. Security deposits are required and they're required for a reason. Okay. But I'm flexible. My security deposits, I will at least give you 90 days to break it up in your first 3-month rent. Okay, I will do that. But I want the security deposit when it's due. I don't want any sad stories. Payments are made with a money order, cashier's check. I'm not taking a personal check. I don't do cash. I've had one tenant call me, Mr. Gordon, you're coming to do my service today. I'll leave the money on the table for you. I don't go in my tenant's houses, they're not there. Because I knew what was going to happen. She was going to have $500 on the table and the rent's $8, and she's going to say, I took $300. So I do not go in any of my tenants' properties. If something needs to be done, they have to have someone there. Say, I don't let none of my contractors go into tenants' property when they're not there. Okay, so that's security deposit. If you don't have it, be honest and upfront and ask the landlord if they'll work with you on it. Okay, it's got to be a two-way communication. Smoke detectors chirping. Why does a smoke detector chirp? Okay. I've had tenants take the smoke detectors down, and that's on that checklist. Because if that house happens to burn down and there are no working smoke detectors, who they coming after? So they sign off on it saying smoke detectors in place and they're functioning. So I've had landlords, this smoke detector's chirping. It needs a battery. So what I do, you laugh, but I keep batteries in my service kit when I go around every month. and I just replace the batteries every year. My birthday's in September. That's when I change all the batteries in all my properties in September. It's easy, painless. Just change them in September when I go do the monthly service. I pour Clorox in the kitchen sink because it's like Drano. It's better than Drano and it sanitizes it. Okay. Another thing I've had recently, I've got floodlights on my properties. All of them have floodlights. When you pull up, the lights come on. Mr. Gordon, light's not working. What is the problem? The bulb. This lady was like 50-some years old, so I changed the bulb. But I've got a few of them that's like 30-some years old, and it's a one-story house. I mean, come on. But if they ask me to, I'll change them. The whole reason I'm up here today is to let you know, as landlords, we need you to be cooperative. Like she said, don't come to me with an attitude, because I'm not going to come with you with an attitude. And if you curse, conversation's over. I had one young lady, she was just cursing up a storm. I gave my sister my payment and she was supposed to put it in the GD mail, da. I just hung the phone up on her. And I tell them, if you curse, well, I wasn't cursing at you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't have to hear it. Simple as that. Any questions, comments? Yes, I do.
My question was, do you have any properties available?
Yes, I do.
And can we get your contact information?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
And the little note I have on all my properties, when they're available, rent, lease, recently renovated, and you can vouch that properties can be painted inside and out, pressure washed, everything. All my properties get pressure washed every year. Like I said, I want my properties to be someplace I'd want to stay. Section 8 approved, refrigerator and stove included, central heating and air conditioning, $75 non-refundable application fee, monthly yard care and service within Greenville city limits, the address, rent, no pets. So that may remove some people, but I don't have to worry about hardwood floors getting scratched. I don't have to worry about blinds getting damaged or anything else. And some of your tenants and some of your people go away all day and leave a pet inside a house, not in a cage. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I heard you say section 8. So are your homes just for people with
ma'am.
vouchers or, okay. And you
Anybody.
will give us that contact information, correct? We just want to make sure we're going to get that contact information.
I've got business cards. I just got a phone call, so we're good. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my first question, your birthday's in September, Virgo or Libra?
Virgo.
All right.
Question for you in regards to background checks. Do you rent to anyone who's been formerly incarcerated?
Yes, I do. I believe everybody can change. Everybody deserves a second chance. So I've had somebody that was manslaughter. Second chance. He was one of my best tenants, one of the best. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear you mention credit. Do you do a credit check?
Yes, I do. I'm looking for terms of employment and then outstanding loans and balances and whether you pay your bills on time. Because if you pay your bills on time, you can pay your rent on time. And the one thing I look for, I know you cannot legally ask certain questions, but I called and I asked one question. I've never had anybody say, I can't answer that. If you had a property open again, would you rent it to Sean again? And they'll answer that. If they say I can't answer, then that's a no. They wouldn't rent to it. If they're going to vouch for it, they're going to say yes. So it's a trick question, but I get the answer I want. It's the same thing with hiring somebody. I always ask them, if you had a job open, would you hire them back? And if they say, I can't answer it, I'm not going to go down that road. Yes, ma'am.
I had a couple of questions come through the
Uh-oh.
online chat.
You only get one. She told me I had 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay, I promise I'll be quick. So, do you discriminate like as far as evictions? And if so, how far in the past does that eviction have to be?
I look at whether it's a current eviction and I talk to the person about the situation and I also try to talk to the landlord. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's gonna go through a hard time. But if they have 3 or 4 evictions, that's probably not gonna work.
Okay, last question. What was the last type of eviction that you had to file on one of your tenants?
She had pets on the property and wasn't supposed to be there.
Lease
And-
violation?
Hmm?
So lease violation?
I just terminated her lease. And the pet was supposed to be for a grandchild and she had it in November. And it was supposed to be for a grandchild's Christmas present. So when I went back to do my January service, guess what was still there? And then she told me it was a puppy. When I walk in, it's like this. So she lied. So I just told her right then, I'm terminating your lease. Like that. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the landlords.
So to protect Mr. Simmons, now if it is a service animal or an emotional support animal, there is a difference. So that does make a difference to comply with the law. Again, we could not do this, our agency, our program, without the wonderful participants and residents that we serve and without the landlords that participate in the program. We are always looking for landlords. We are moving to work agency now. And that means we have incentives for damage claims and not security deposits, damage claims and vacancy payments. That's the word, vacancy payments. So please visit our website. I forgot to mention our eligibility department and our new IT department, but our new website is great. So please feel free to visit it. But we very much believe that your heart is where your home is, and we want to provide you with a decent, safe place to call home. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.